Alright, we're taking a look at version 3 of my Black Belcher build. If you guys haven't seen the first two videos in this series, they've come out this week, and I'd recommend taking a look at them beforehand, but you can take a look at any order that you want, honestly. There are three versions of the same deck, and I personally think that V3 is kind of the best that I've got so far, but if you like one of the other ones, go for it. So I'll kind of just talk about this one in terms of the differences between the previous ones and assume that you've seen those videos. For those that haven't, this is basically just a Belcher deck that is playing a secondary game plan of just having like some One Rings and Shieldreds to control the game with. But in essence, we're really just a Rakdos Charbelcher deck. Charbelcher domes the opponent for their entire life total, or at least 50 damage-ish. If we get it off early enough because of all our spell lands. So let's take a look at what changed here. We've dropped the Thought Seizes from the previous build of the deck, and we've picked up some other things in Shieldred's Edict for removal. We have Ancient Grudge in case we need to deal with artifacts, because sometimes that does need to happen. And really this is here just to deal with Pithing Needles, because obviously we can't take out One Ring since they're indestructible. Basically, this deck used to be very, very soft to Pithing Needle, so we do need to find Ancient Grudge. And we can find it off of our Beseech the Mirrors, which is nice. Beseech is going to really kind of cement itself into this deck as really a way to have a secondary game plan that is not just doing Belcher things. And it can also slot into the Belcher finish, which is great. So we also run two Reckless Handlings now. This is just that we can take hands that don't exactly hold a Charbelcher, and so we're not really going to be goldfishing for hands at the start of the game, trying to find one. Reckless Handling and our 4 new Beseech the Mirrors in this deck are going to be the 6 ways to find a Belcher, in addition to just naturally drawing 4 Belchers. So basically around 10 ways to get that card into our hand. Beseech the Mirror can also do a lot of things like find an Ironcrag feat here, which is going to be our way to get a Goblin Charbelcher out of our hand and activate in the same turn, which sometimes happens because opponents can deal with the Belcher once it hits the battlefield with like a Teferi bounce or another Ancient Grudge if it came down to it. So it's important that we can access this Ironcrag feat to go off in one turn. And then with Beseech the Mirror, we can do a couple other things. We can exile Planeswalkers with the End, and this can allow us to search for 4 copies of like an Oko or Teferi, and maybe that is going to be enough to get our opponent off of their main game plan or their control game plan. The End is going to be great for Minskin Boo, for Teferi, both the 3 and the 5 mana one, in addition to our Okos of the format as well. So the End, hopefully this is going to be a pretty good card here. I'm pretty high on this one, and we will see. And because we're playing Beseech the Mirror, we may as well play a Shieldred and 2 One Rings in order to kind of play that life gain end game if our opponent is stopping us but can't really deal with a permanent that's landed onto the battlefield. And then an interesting one here is Languish. This is a direct response to me just getting run over by elves with this deck. Languish is going to be our hopeful way of dealing with these decks that go wide and then eventually get pretty big. If we can use this to kill like one creature, usually that basically means that it's going to be a 4-mana board wipe, which is ideal. And I did want to keep it on color just in case, it comes time that we just have to cast it straight up. So, other than that, that's more or less the deck in its current form. Hope you guys enjoy this one, and let's see how these games go. Before we hop in, make sure to like the video and comment what you think about it. And if you're new here, subscribe for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now let's hop into round 1 and see what we can do. Okay, here we go. This is our round 1 with version 3 of the Belcher deck. So we have Demonic Tutor here and 3 red lands, which is generally not the distribution of lands that we're looking for. We'll have trouble doing anything other than just getting to 4 mana and casting a Belcher, but we do have Bowmasters to be a problem here and a Shieldred that could stick and do some damage. I think this is one where I do want to mulligan, though. We draw a Belcher hand, and because I cannot play the Striker Rich currently, I think this is what I want to do. We will show... Oh, I guess I could have with this Shatter Skull Smashing, so maybe that was not right. But I think I'd rather have Bowmasters to be a intermediate distraction. We see Deathrite Shaman here. And could just go for Belcher now with a Shatter Skull Smashing, but then I'd need to survive one turn. I think I'm better off playing the Pelaka Predation, Shambling Gas, and just pray I don't get Thoughtseized here. Okay, well that is pretty good to see, so we'll go ahead and probably just shock this in here. We can kill the Deathrite Shaman. Let's do that now. See if they'd like to do anything about this. Alright, so they let that happen. We're going to go for Dark Ritual here. And for their perspective, this could be One Ring Shieldred, but if they have checked the lands well enough, they know that this is Charbelcher. Not sure of any card castable with 2 mana that is a Kogla type effect that can destroy my Charbelcher, but I think I will not attack in case they dash or Ragavan. Alright, so they're going to shock for the Bloodstained Mire. Let's see what happens here. Oh, they're not going to shock in the Tomb, though. So if we untap, we do have the win here, and it looks like our opponent can't do anything about it. The Belcher deck takes round 1. Here we go into round 2. Alright, here we go. This is our round 2. We open up a pretty black-oriented hand here that can eventually Dark Ritual into Beseech the Mirror. We do have a Shambling Gas that could produce a token for Bargain, but opponent has Mulligan, so I think I'm happy to do that too. In this hand, we'd probably be putting back a Languish, but am I really too happy to see everything in this hand? I don't think I am. I'm going to go one more down, and we get to keep a hand of 5 with 2 Charbelchers if we'd like to. I'll give it a try. This does give us redundancy in our hand. But the problem is we only have 2 mana. Let's see what happens. So opponent's gone to 6, we've gone to 5. This is going to be a play from behind here, apparently. We actually draw our 3rd Charbelcher. Opponent has a DRC, so we are definitely in a bit of trouble here, but at any rate, we are pretty... Oh, so here comes Necropotence. That's kind of bad to see. At any rate, we are insulated against Thoughtseize, which actually they do cast now. They could have triple Thoughtseize, which would be wild. I'd be incredibly surprised to see that. They decided to go for the Gas. They could have taken my 2nd land, and they still have 2 mana here, so this could be more Thoughtseizes. And it is just an Orcish Bowmaster, so I'm actually pretty happy to see how this comes. I mean, they did take a hand that is supposedly going to be able to deal with our, you know, open the gates for them to get moving with their 3 power on the board. Here comes Ragavan, not Dash, which is great. And we'll just put a tapped Agadeem's Awakening. And we could still win this game. It's not impossible, but we need to pretty much draw exactly a land here. Maybe just get the 1 ring online. Not too many draws that we have here are outs for us. I don't care too much about this. This is just trying to fuel Delirium, which it does hit. So that means we're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 1 turn here. And so this is going to be Dark Ritual. I'm looking at 5, 6, 7, 8. If they have a Bowmasters in hand, then I'm kind of just dead. If they drop a Lightning Bolt, if they get a Lightning Bolt off the top of my library, they just kill me. But I think we just need to set up a kill next turn. Here's a Belcher. And can we win with 3 lands? Let's see. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand. 1 was drawn randomly off the top. They do have a Black Cleave Cliff. They're going to put us to 2 here. And what do they exile? It is just the Strike It Rich, so that's fine. But what are the 2 remaining cards in their hands? Do they kill me? It's a toss-up here, and I think if they had it, they would have played it by now. So I'm maybe sensing some good things here. They Surveil. They may have something that can allow them to draw. was an Underworld Breach, and it looks like they're going to allow us to activate here. That is a Belcher to face, and we deal 48 for the win. Alright, well, we flew pretty close to the sun there, but we were just far away enough to survive. Round 2, and we are still undefeated. Let's hop into round 3. Alright, here we go. This is our round 3. Currently undefeated. We have early acceleration into potentially a Valakut Awakening. That's not a terrible game plan here. I think I'm happy to keep this one for sure. We actually have a good majority of our shock lands as well, or our bolt lands, if you want to call them that. I'm taking a long look at the hand here, trying to decide what is the move. They take our acceleration in Dark Ritual. Okay. Well, I'm going to start putting down the black mana. We really only need one piece of red, to be honest. Mire Tritons, they're going for Self-Mill. And now we're going to ask ourselves why we think that would be. Crypt Breaker. Okay, so this actually just might be zombies, which is crazy. They could get out quick. I'm going to probably shock and play Strike It Rich. We want our acceleration, and we want to have a shot at just dropping our Belcher next turn if we draw it. Okay. Now eventually I'm going to probably want to start bolting these things. Okay, so they're going to unearth their Crypt Breaker. Okay, that's a way to get lands, or that's a way to get card advantage. Oh yeah, I guess they can do that. They will decide to do this. Do I kill the Crypt Breaker? I think I will do it on this coming turn. I could do that, or I could just Reckless Handling and try to get a Belcher out. So how would the timing work on this? I am almost thinking that this is actually the move. So it's Reckless Handling into me taking 5, go to 11. I play Belcher, go to 5, and then I can kill. So let's play Reckless Handling, see if this resolves. We want to go ahead and not play our land first so that we have a higher chance of keeping our Belcher, which we actually just get unlucky with here, so that is a problem. Now, I think we still need to play our black land, and we have nothing to play here, so this will come into pass. We'll go ahead and say go here, and I'm wondering if I need to bolt one of these this turn. If they use Crypt Breaker to draw a card, I'm kind of happy. Otherwise, we might need to bolt like Wayward Servant or something. Mill 2, gain 2. Maybe it's just kill Crypt Breaker. But at the same time, Crypt Breaker is just taking card advantage for them. I think I need to use the Lightning Bolt as a way to delay their aggression. If they have card advantage, that's just going to have to be something that happens. The drain from Wayward Servant is slow enough that I don't super care about it. I think at this combat, though, I will kill Wayward Servant if it attacks, given that it's already drained me for 3 this game. So let's see. Okay, Creeping Chill, fine. Not super happy to see that. We are at 11. Now the question is, do they go in with Crypt Breaker or what? I can show them Lightning Bolt now and force them to tap one of their Mire Tritons or Wayward Servants, but what am I really doing after that? I'll be down a mana. That means I'd have to shock my Agadim, so I'd be effectively at 8 damage. And I would still take... I would actually still take 4. I think the move almost is to shock the Wayward Servant. That's going to deal the most damage to me in the long run. They're going to make their attacks first. They're leaving their 3 things up here. I think I'm going to go ahead and bolt this. We kind of need to get lucky with what we find here. We're in a bit of a troublesome situation. Yep, they do get to draw and lose a life. That's fine. We are a little bit far from our game plan being executed here, unfortunately. Effectively at 9 damage here. This is a 2-turn clock, potentially. And, man, that is not what we need. So, Kazul's Fury is going to be our land for turn. We can go Valakut Awakening, discard 2. And we can potentially draw into a 1-ring. Beseech the Mirror is not a good draw anymore. We could just draw... We actually don't even have the lucky draw of our 7-mana producer plus Belcher. That's not going to work. Another Crypt Breaker. It seems like it's going to be the Backbreaker, in fact. As we get here, hit for 6. I'll just go ahead and just do this now. We know what we're going to be taking this turn. Let's see what we draw if there's anything good. There's a Belcher, and a Valakut Awakening. Not quite enough, sadly. I am trying to think of what we could even draw to win this game. We would be so close if we had whatchamacallit, a Shocked Land, and we drew a Dark Ritual. Well, let's see what we draw. It is a Shambling Ghast, which unfortunately is not the move. We'll show them the Belcher, and I guess show them a land as well. Opponent's got the game here. We'll just go ahead and let them move to combat here and attack in. So after 3 rounds, we are 2-1. Not too bad, all things considered here. With a very quick hand, I think we do win this game. Just kind of unfortunate with the draws and the hand that I chose to keep. But those are some lessons to take home with you. Let's hop into round 4 and see if we can't improve on them. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is going to be round 4. This is a better hand than we've seen in the past. It does heavily rely on this Dark Ritual, though. We would be able to deal with the Orcish, or we would be able to leverage the Orcish Bowmasters to buy us a little bit of time if our Dark Ritual gets stripped. But this hand is asking a lot. And even though it is, I think that I'm going to try to keep it because we are insulated against Thoughtseize discarding Belcher, and we do happen to be on the play. Plus Shieldred is nice, and then eventually we might be able to go ahead and do our Beseech for the 1-ring kind of plan. Now we're seeing 1 ring here. This is Primeval Titan, so this is prime time. Most likely, yeah, since this wasn't a gate, this is most likely just going to be Field of the Dead. So we know that our time is ticking. Arboreal Grazer, sure. They get in quick. Luckily, we're a combo deck that doesn't really care too much about what's going on. Here's a Shambling Ghast. And yeah, that means our Dark Ritual into Belcher is pretty protected here. They're not going to be running that much artifact removal, as I'm aware. And so as soon as our Shambling Ghast dies, that will be our 3rd mana, unless we can find another way to go quicker than that. 2 mana. Let's see what they got. Here comes the Wooded Foothills. Is there going to be a play here? They could cultivate for 2 lands. We'll see what happens. That's a shock here. What's the white going to be for? Sylvan's Scrying, so they're going to go find their Field of the Dead, or no, it'll be big Garen Brig to get out of Primeval Titan. That makes sense. Tammy of Bamboo Groves to get it onto the battlefield. Yep. And they pass on through. So this is going to be for us a Dark Ritual play into a Charbelcher, and we'll let the opponent know that they are about to be very dead. What we'll do here is we don't need to worry about an attack, and I mean our opponent shouldn't be dumb enough to block with Cammy. Sylvan Scrying, what we can do is we can actually kill our own Ghast with Orcish Bowmasters, so we can set up for a win 2 turns from now, or 2nd turn from now. And they do have the Boseiju off of Sylvan Scrying, that's fine. We can attempt to search, but we will not find anything. And now we have to find another way back to our 4th mana. Well, that's getting pretty close here, and we can probably just go ahead and hold this Bowmasters to see if they draw. Prime time's coming down, and we really need to get going probably on our next turn, if not before then. We'll resolve this here, and it looks like we need to just move on our turn here. So we get to refire our Charbelcher and hope that they do not have access to another Boseiju. Field of the Dead is going to start to do everything. Radiant Fountain gaining them some life. You got it. Crack that Wooded Foothills. Get some more Field of the Dead value here. You got it. And will there be attackers here? No, there won't. So we will go ahead and Bowmasters here. That's going to have to protect us. We target our Shambling Ghast here to make us 12 mana. And we will create that treasure token. Move our turn here. This will be Valakut Awakening for the land half and the Belcher for the only side that it has. And we have to pray that there is no access to another Boseiju for them. If they have the second one, then that is just good play on their side and good deck building and all those kind of things. Otherwise, we just have to block effectively and hopefully come out with good trades here. We got one card left in hand. It is Fierce Empath. Oh, hello. I do believe the Garenbrig does get them there, doesn't it? That is a Crater Hoof Behemoth, and we are dead. So much damage coming in. Just a turn away from getting that Belcher out. So close. Yeah, so opponent had the exact right timing with that Boseiju, and got one in the game. We're not blocking here. This is a pretty solid build when it comes to the primetime Field of the Dead deck. I really like the Fierce Empath into Crater Hoof Behemoth, and it is a pretty cool thing to see such great use happening out of, where is it, Castle Garenbrig here. Definitely a big, important land in this deck. Okay, so that was our round 4 in the bag. We have one final round here to try to eke out a win. Well, let's hop in and see what we can do. Alright, let's go. Final round. We have Shambling Ghast to be our acceleration in this hand, and 2 Shocklands leading into a Belcher effectively. Reckless Handling can find our second Belcher if the first one's dealt with, and we have Lightning Bolt to deal with, like, I don't know, Ragavan or something. Maybe that'll be necessary. I'll give it a try. I think this is going to be a hand where we just we do not shock the Agadeem's Awakening, because who knows how long the beginning of this game is going to go. Mishra's Bauble, probably looking at the top of ours. Or are they going to be looking at the top of theirs? I'm curious. Inquisition. Not going to take our Belcher just yet, but we will probably lose Shambling Ghast, or, if they're smart, our Shattered Skull Smashing. They could make us play off of 1 land here, and we are a 2-color deck. For me, having played enough of this, the answer is clear, and they do make the right decision there in my mind. So that means we're going to have to play off of this Agadeem's Awakening, and we may as well just go ahead and shock here to get more things out of our hand. They may activate this Mishra's Bauble, we will see, and we will get everything out onto the battlefield. So this is full knowledge of my hand to the opponent. Let's see what's going to happen. They actually go ahead and pass here, holding up mana, which kind of screams Bowmasters to me. This Valakut Awakening may not be great as the spell side, but it is a red land, which we desperately do need. If I were to go in with the Shambling Ghast, it's likely that Bowmasters ends up killing, but if they do, the Shambling Ghast -1/-1 does kill the Bowmasters, so I'm kind of happy to do it. Yeah, I think this is honestly fine. And then I also can just make treasures if they die. Yep, we'll just go ahead and let that happen. You got it. That is the Bowmasters. Are they going to deal this to face or not? Oh, that's kind of a bold move here, because I'm definitely going to be making this treasure token. This does represent a Goblin Charbelcher, and it also is a Lightning Bolt that can be cast now. Definitely nice. Thoughtseize is going to take my Charbelcher, I guess. We could make a gamble with his Reckless Handling next turn. We'll have to see if that is indeed the move. Pack Rat. Really not what I expected to be playing against today, but okay. And it looks like they're passing through. We'd be taking a 33% chance on this reckless handling. Move to our turn. It's Striker Rich, so I feel kind of down to do this. Let's give it a try. And let's hope to get lucky here. Opponent is deciding if they want to do their Mishra's Bauble activation now. They do not. Here's a Belcher into my hand. Will we discard it? We do not. And the Striker Rich is not worth casting to just replace a treasure and essentially discard a card for free. Okay, well, the question is, do they have Thoughtseize again? I hope they don't. I don't think we're really in any danger of dying immediately. The question is, can they just take our second out of fourth win condition away? Even if they were to do it, we can still open up a Beseech the Mirror. So I guess we're just probably getting Thoughtseize here. Beseech the Mirror for Thoughtseize, or are they going to pick something that is less good? Or better, who knows. They could even find a Pithing Needle here, which would make my life a lot harder. And that is the Thoughtseize. Take our Goblin Shard Belcher here. So be it. That's why we put 4 in the deck. Bobble looks at the top here. But at least now we are ready for when we draw another Belcher. So we'll just go ahead and do a setup turn here. We might as well attack with one of the Shambling Gas. They pretty much can't block it, so we might as well pressure their life total as much as we can. Striker Rich, not a castable card without using all my treasures. Opponent down to 12. They're discarding an Emrakul, which is interesting. I wonder if they're trying to have Pack Rat become a copy of Emrakul and like make copies of Emrakul. That'd be kind of sick. Well, Pack Rats now can just copy themselves, so killing this one really doesn't mean too much. I don't particularly care about being able to draw cards, so the Bowmasters doesn't really matter. However, if I were to kill it and make a token, that'd be 6 mana, which means that a Dark Ritual makes 7, 8. But here with 5, I can just make 7 with a Dark Ritual draw, so maybe I don't need to do this. I could also just attempt to get as close to 7 natural mana as possible with the Strike It Rich next turn in case I just draw that next Belcher. Then it's a 1-turn kind of deal. Alright, I'm convinced after thinking it through like that, it's going to be Shambling Gas, make a token. And then, unless we get something good like this land here, it's going to just be Strike It Rich. And now we just play for the top of our deck. We have a creature that can block. And yeah, just need to survive. The Pack Rats are going to get bigger every turn. This is 6 damage. We now cannot block. We actually just draw a Languish, which is the perfect board wipe that we're looking for. Let's make a token here, and we ship it back to the opponent, who now needs to rebuild. Dig up. Okay, well, that's annoying. Looks like they'll find another Pack Rat here and then just continue the chain. So we need to be pretty quick. Luckily, a Belcher draw does it for us. So hopefully this is going to be good. Now I'm curious if they play anything here, because they could just check our hand with Thoughtseize. I think now I'm just going to play this Shieldred. And this does give us a way to win the game finally. So I think definitely earlier builds of this deck would have problems in this situation, but because we have some cards that are good in the long run, I'm feeling a lot better than I did with some of these other games that I played with the previous versions of this deck. So all indications are pretty good so far. Let's see though what happens. This is Hangerback Walker. We have a Ritual now. I may as well go in here for 4, start to pressure them. Will they block here? They're going to block with Hanger Backwalker. That's fine. You got it. We're going to make 3 Thopters. And are they going to try to burn me down here? It probably won't work for them since they're already at 7. And unless they have removal for Shieldred. Let's see what happens. Reach the mirror end. Okay, that's probably removal for Shieldred then. Thoughtseize taking my Ritual's fine. But yeah, this is like going to be Fatal Push or something. Unless they have a way to kill me. That'd also be bad. They actually have nothing left. That's incredible. I think we got so lucky there. This game was really playing out to the top decks here as the game kind of went long. We saw some pretty interesting stuff out of their deck here, including this Emrakul. Still not really sure what the idea was with that card. Maybe it's just to play or something like that. I don't really currently see any ways of cheating that into play. Could be some sort of like copy creature kind of deal. This is create a token that's a copy of Packrat, so if somehow... Oh, I see. The idea is to play an Emrakul and then get this ability with like Agatha's Soul Cauldron onto the Emrakul. Interesting kind of build. It almost was able to do it to us anyway. But with that being said, that does bring us to the 5th and final round's closure here. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck. This has been quite a long-running process of doing 3 versions of this deck. Hopefully it's kind of come to a version that you guys like, and I would be very interested to hear what you guys think about the card choices that I made here. Languish was great in this build, or in this particular match, but I'm curious to see if you think that it'd do well against the larger format as a whole, or if you have, better suggestions. Maybe we dip into some of the red removal, like Storm's Wrath. This is essentially the black Storm's Wrath. Maybe there's another whole angle we can take this deck. I'd be totally down to take a look at this in the future, but for now, that was the final round, and we're done with it for today. So, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and if you're a returning subscriber, please like the video and comment on it to help with the algorithm. Helps me a lot. Hope your new year's going well, hope you're playing a lot of Magic, and I hope that it's been a good time. I'll see you in the next one.